I hate to be right. Do y'all remember this post? This post was November 18th, 2025, when I knew the season was over and it was early on, and I said, and I quote, so many have Cam Ward under the microscope, but I don't know a rookie quarterback on a team that's known for legendary running backs that's been outgaining rushing every single game of the season. All the way through the bye week, we lost the ground game every single week with a rookie quarterback. And I was to say, Pollard is going to get $9 million next year. Tyjae Spears was the top 100 pick, who's been banged up pretty much all of his career in Nashville, as explosive as he can be when he's on the field. And Khalil Mullins had not played up until that time. Khalil Mullins did not play until the last month of the season. And I said, and I quote, should the Titans not look at the number one running back in the draft, Jeremiah Love, or look later in the draft or free agency? Titans ground game has to be complementary to a wide receiver group that's at the bottom of the league. I got to thinking, and I'm petty. I'm petty. So let me go down here in the comments. After hearing Robert Saleh and Mike Bergonzi, and I think it's Daniel Jeremiah, that put it out that the Tennessee Titans are in love with Jeremiah Love. Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Loves, and now Sonny Styles as the three can't miss projects in the first round of the draft. And Revoluso says, I think there are better options for the Titans than Love. Lee Grant said 3 of the organization's best running backs came in the first. Draft this man immediately. Elaine said there is zero reason to draft Love. Edge, cornerback, wide receiver, and O-line all need to be improved before the running back. Phillips says, y'all are crazy with all our needs if you think we're taking a running back number one. My prediction is an edge, either Bain or Reese, and then a wide receiver or best available. A running back is needed, but it's not a first pick in the draft, and I'm willing to put $100 on it. He said, Ryan said Jeremiah Love is a wide receiver, not a running back. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Man, I think that's not a good idea to take a running back early in the draft unless we're built to win soon. We are at least a couple of years away. Jeremiah Love is going to be great, but I think Khalil Mullins has a lot of upside. I want to see what him and Spears has. They won't play better until Cam has legitimate receivers, and we need edge and DB. All that being said, it would be hard to be upset if they take Jeremiah Love. He has everything to be the next great NFL running back. Let's see. Darnell said, please get him. Gary said, look at Genty. Prime example of if you take a running back high, if you don't have a supporting cast. Anthony said, Titans are talent poor, that they should trade back once or twice and take best available. Y'all need O-line or he going to be looking like Genty. Can't skip wide receiver, edge. Who's blocking for him? All right, a whole bunch of we don't want Jeremiah Love. Now, I'm not saying they're going to pick Jeremiah Love. I was just open to it all the way back then to say, if you're going to put a complimentary ground game with a young QB, it's going to improve the wide receivers, seeing as I think Carnell Tate is the only top receiver at this point that you could even justify taking a top 10 pick. But I don't think Carnell Tate is the specimen that T-Mac was coming out last year. I think that this is a deep wide receiver class. And if we go get Alec Pierce or Wan'Dale Robinson, I don't see the need in burning your first pick at wide receiver when nobody can guarantee me that Jeremy Bernard, Chris Brosnan, Zachariah Branch, Casey Concepcion, Jacoby Lane, all the wide receivers that's going to be drafted at the end of the first round, especially with Chris Bell falling with his injury. It's going to be some really good wide receivers that go in the second and third and even later. So just to say that I had just been open to the fact that you can cut Tony Pollard and save $7 million and draft Jeremiah Love if you felt that good about him. Now, you can never be wrong taking the best player available. If Arvell Reese and Ruben Bain come off the board, I would rather have Jeremiah Love than David Bailey. If we got to 4 and they took Carnell Tate, I wouldn't be mad about it. But I think Jeremiah Love is a more explosive and dynamic player than Carnell Tate. You know, when you talk about Caleb Downs being a can't miss project in this draft, nobody would be mad if we took Caleb Downs. But Malachi Starks fell to the end of the first round in this past draft. He was a bigger blue chip prospect to me than Caleb Downs is. So I don't think in the top 10 that there are many can't miss guys in the top 10. You know, some people still have their reservations about Mendoza, Bain, Arvell Reese, all the people that's gonna go. Which in my mind, that's how you can see Maui Noah jumping up into the top 10. Some of the guys that offensive line, you know, defensive tackle Woods from Clemson. I think some of those guys may pop up higher in the draft than people expect, because you just can't convince me that outside of maybe 2 or 3 guys that the wide receivers 5 through 10 are going to be any different than 1 through 5, or defensive backs 5 through 10 are going to be any different than the 1 through 5. I just don't see that big of a difference. I think there's only like 1 or 2 players that just really killed the draft and really helped their stock. Sonny Styles can boosted itself potentially to a top 10 pick with his performance in the combine. And then a wide receiver like Deion Burks out of Oklahoma, with the speed that he put on display, Kenyon Sadiq. It's some people that definitely boosted themselves. But, you know, as all the GM said, this is a verification process that what they did at the combine does not outweigh tape of 2, 3, 4 years of college. Said Ravens should trade out of 14 and get extra picks. Op, what's good? Nah, what's going on? El Marco, what's popping? Dre Day. Make sure I say what's up to everybody. I know I ain't been on in 3 or 4 days. I've been sick. I had migraines. We was out of here. Corey. But what was y'all biggest surprises in the NFL Combine? I think David Bailey's hip fluidity. Man's looked like he had a board taped to his back. He ran crazy speed straight line, but his body lean just was not there. And then Malachi Fields was a guy that I thought would be a sleeper in this draft. He dropped a couple balls in his workouts. So it's going to be interesting to see from all the mock drafts that we did and all the preliminary 2D that we put out, how it's going to hold true now that the combine is over. And then you're going to start adding in the moves that teams makes in free agency is going to change people's draft board. So I think for the Tennessee Titans, I think if the Tennessee Titans, obviously if they got K9 or Breece Hall, I don't see them going after Jeremiah Love. But if you see the Tennessee Titans get Wan'Dale Robinson, a slot receiver that's good for 1,000 yards, to go with DK, Aomana, and Restrepo, I think then that changes the draft, because if you put Jeremiah Love with that group and you pick up a monster tight end in free agency, or you bring in a dunker wide receiver in the draft, I think the Tennessee Titans have addressed edge with Jermaine Johnson and Femi coming back and can still hit the draft and add to that. But if they go get somebody like Trey Hendrickson or Boy Mafe or Dafiowe, any of the names that I've been saying, with John Franklin Myers, bro, if Franklin Myers line up next to Jeffrey Simmons and then you add another monster where they got a 5-man rotation before we even hit the draft, I could clearly see the Titans going after a big name corner and then addressing everything best player available, because they still got 8 or 9 picks after they pick number 4. So like it would almost be like a luxury pick if they was able to fill out a lot of these holes coming in. I know everybody wasn't expecting center to be open, but I don't think it's the biggest deal as most people are making it out to be. Corey Mack, man, I'm feeling a little better. I had some migraines yesterday. So I'm just hoping they don't come back. I was surprised at how good Green looked at QB. Yeah, I mean, dude had one of the best quarterback combines of all time, but that still don't overweigh the tape. You know, like that would be a project player for somebody to pick up in the later rounds, to be able to sit behind a veteran, kind of how Jalen Milroe is on the Seahawks, which was perfect. Come in his rookie year, get a Super Bowl, sitting on the bench, sit behind Sam Darnold, who's got 2 more guaranteed years, and then he should be ready to be well into the system to take over when Sam Darnold reaches the end of his contract. His Packers need to draft Trey Smack. Go Gators. That's who you want in the first round, though, Op. Texans might be a player this offseason. Well, they just got David Montgomery in a trade for a 4th round draft pick. KC Concepcion will be a steal in the draft, dude. I think he's already and always was going to be a 1st round draft pick, though, in Concepcion. So I don't see a 1st rounder being a steal, though, D Ford. I think steal is like a Rondé Gasson to the Chargers. 5th round pick and how he played. I think when you get in those, like Kyle Monunga to the Bears, a 7th round pick, a guy that is a 1,000-yard back, I think those are steals. I think if it's a 1st rounder, I wouldn't necessarily call him a steal. Biggest surprise was how well the wide receiver. Man, this is a fast group. I knew that Zachariah Branch and some of them guys could go, but I mean, it was like 4-3, 4-3, 4-4, 4-3, 4-4, 4-4. Like, even the people we thought was slow was running 4-4, 4-5. 2 times, what up? He said put Green at wide out. Can he catch? I was thinking that like a Terrell Pryor. Remember, Terrell Pryor is like a dude that threw 4,000, ran 4,000, and caught 4,000. Like, sometimes he might be better suited just to go and line up at wide out with that type of speed and athleticism. They say his physical comp was DK Metcalf. I mean, that's crazy. First time in 2-3 years, it's exciting to be a Titan fan. It's a different mood. Texans better go big on linemen. Yeah, they do got to get the O-line right. Yeah, Zachariah Branch has been my guy. I've been talking about Zachariah Branch for months. Give you a kicker, and after that, go address the offensive line. I think y'all losing Elton Jenkins, so y'all definitely got to address the line. But y'all get a lot of people back off of injury. Micah Parsons, Kraft. Y'all going to get a lot of people. Is Romeo Doubs leaving? Can Golden step up and be the player that y'all drafted? Traded a Pro Bowl lineman. They did do that. I think getting a running back like Love would be on brand for us, because it's the one thing the Titans can hang their hat on is good running backs. And the fact that he's like probably better than 50% of the receivers coming out in the draft. When you look at who they were comparing him to, is saying a Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson, somebody who's just a Swiss Army knife that you give him the ball 15, 20 times a game and watch what happens. For a person like Cam, I would rather him be hitting Jeremiah Love and the tight ends out of the backfield than that goofy orbit motion swing bubble screen nonsense that Brian Callahan had. Cam Ward throwing over 50% of his passes behind the line of scrimmage the first month of last season, which was awful for his development. Especially seeing that it was throwing a lot of bubble screens to Tyler Lockett, a lot of older receivers. Impulse, what up? A top 3 player at edge, wide receiver, and cornerback and free agent. They're going to go best player available in draft. I mean, them getting Jermaine Johnson already is big. Now, if you bring in Wan'Dale Robinson and they able to go get like Alontae Taylor or Jamel Dean, Tariq Woolen, Nashawn Wright, those are the guys I got my eye on. Now, if they do that, and then we still don't know where they are at with Snead, it's a good chance that he gets exonerated of his charges and it just goes under the table. When we come up next season and Snead is back healthy playing football, he's just not the number 1 corner. You know, if you put Snead in the slaughter at cornerback too, healthy, he's good. Seeing as we still got Marcus Harris, they should bring back Baker Jr. and Elam for depth. Decan Gasman, what up? He said Golden gonna be a star. I don't think they really knew what to do with him last year. You know, with Christian Watson coming back and then having Doubs outside, then I think y'all got Wicks and Reed. Y'all had a lot of receivers and really didn't know what to do. I think if y'all find a different way to use Golden, he'll be tough. Why is the Browns open for quarterback market? Because it's the Browns. They had 8 quarterbacks on roster on payroll last year. Why not make it 9? Is what we do is run the ball. You see, they ran the ball the second half of the season. It opened up everything and Cam played better. I think that's the thing that they didn't realize is we had run block and no linemen, and we out there like asking them to drop back in pass protection 50 times a game. It ain't gonna work. DeShammer, what up? CMC, Joe Blacko. If we build a wall offense, might be low key. Fire, Stroud, Montgomery, Collins, Higgins. Tank Dell coming back is probably more important than anything. Y'all missed Mixon bad last year, and when Dalton Schultz got hurt in the playoffs, y'all was cooked. Last year, as a Colts fan, y'all doomed. Quarterbacks are mid. Called. What are y'all gonna do though? I mean, y'all are interesting. Y'all don't owe Daniel Jones any money. Anthony Richardson is on his last year, and you still got Riley Leonard. You don't have a first round pick. Y'all could be looking at Jimmy G. I think the Cardinals are looking at him too. I think y'all definitely got to get a veteran in there. And best case scenario is Anthony Richardson has a good year 4. I don't know why they would sign Daniel Jones to a long-term deal. He hurt an Achilles and a broken leg. Like, I don't know when he would actually be physically cleared to be out there to like run 100% full reps. And if you would want him at 100% full reps, coming right back off of his injury, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot to think about. He said all our choices are wrong. I'm saying like y'all best case scenario is Anthony Richardson is healthy and plays this year, and y'all get a veteran backup. That's best case scenario. Because like if y'all have to wind up trading even more draft capital, then you know you're thinking about picking up Geno Smith after he gets cut. You know, like that is not looking promising. Best case scenario is Anthony Richardson year 4 turns into who you drafted him to be. I think. But tell me what you think. You know, I've been wrong before. Malik would fit the Colts scheme perfectly. Only thing is, like, Malik and Anthony Richardson is like the same player. And technically, Anthony Richardson will have a higher athletic skill set than Malik. I just don't know if they go that route. Because Shane Steichen would be putting his career on the line with whoever plays quarterback next year. Because he don't make it through next year if they don't turn it around. Steelers have to go wide receivers the first round opposite of DK. See us getting the quarterback by the 3rd round. But they did that last year though. Will Howard was the 5th round pick. I don't know what, like I told y'all I didn't think that A-Rod was the good fit last year, long term for y'all. And they didn't get no further with A-Rod than they did with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. And it's still like, since Big Ben, they just have not put their stake into a QB and developed them. They got Kenny Pickett and gave up on him too soon. But I mean, coaching matters, bro. Like, I don't think any quarterback would be good with Matt Canada calling plays. You can see the Colts going after Kyler, but what are they going to trade to get him? The Cardinals got to move Kyler in the next 2 weeks, or they're going to lose another $18 million. Like, the Colts already don't have a first round pick. You telling me they're going to trade a 2nd or a 3rd now, not having any picks to go get Kyler? Like, that's crazy. They're like not even going to have a draft. I'm starting to like Love over Bain and Bailey. One thing the fans have to remember is we can't completely address everything. Yeah, I mean, my thing is like, I like Ruben Bain and I like Arvell Reese. David Bailey to me is just a fast edge with no bend. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me. I don't think David Bailey is a number 4 pick. I think if you had Bain or Reese, I'm not tripping at all. And then if you went outside of Bain or Reese, I would go Love, Caleb Downs, then Carnell Tate in that order. That's just me personally. Because I'm a best player available type of guy. We already told Richardson that he could seek a trade. We about to ship him out and be shit out of luck big time. Because then you're just down to Riley Leonard and whoever else anybody cuts. I think if y'all trade Anthony Richardson, that just means that y'all are all in on Daniel Jones. But I mean, there's no guarantee he's gonna be healthy. Y'all gonna be like the Falcons was last year. You remember I said people was mad. They thought I was hating on Kirk Cousins. I'm saying, like, bro, the dude's gonna be 38 years old coming off a major surgery. Like, Kirk Cousins played good for 1 month and his body gave out on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, got the dude went 6 weeks without a touchdown because at some point them horse shots wear off. You know what I'm saying? And them hits start adding up. I don't think Malik will get 30 million. I mean, Justin Fields got 2 years, 30 million last year. Daniel Jones got 17 million last year. Sam Darnold got 33 million after a 14-win season. Geno Smith got 37 million. I think if somebody believes in Malik is their number one quarterback, then you could see him getting 30 million a year and, 2 years, 55 million or something like that. But I love Malik. I hope he get the money in the contract and the opportunity. I hope he plays well. But if we the Tennessee Titans was looking at free agent quarterbacks, I don't think I want to take Malik for 30. The Colts are cooked. But then this is how the NFL works. We think they're cooking and they make some plays and they wind up fixing it. The Colts are kind of like how the Broncos was when they had Russ. And they paid the Steelers to play Russ, and then they went and got Bo Nix, and then 2 years later they in the playoffs, and then the year after that they the number one seed in the AFC. It's just all about it, like buying into whatever moves you gonna make and just not fake breaking. Edge needs to be a building block. I'm still on the Bain train, but there's no guarantee that Ruben Bain or Arvell Reese will be there at 4. You know what I'm saying? With Dante Moore and Trinidad Chambliss going back to school, Ty Simpson is probably a late first round pick. I just don't see the blue chips on the board for us to be able to get Bain. I think Bain and Reese are gonna go 2 and 3. I honestly believe that, and I think you're gonna be stuck at 4, either trading back or saying who's the best available. And the best available is gonna be Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, and Carnell Tate. So then if you were going offensive line, it'd be Maui Noah. So I think at 4, that's where we're gonna be at. Now, if you can do what the Browns did last year and still stay in that top 5 to 10 pick and pick up a next year's first round and an extra top 100 pick, I think you have to do that, because then if you don't get Love and you wind up getting Tate, but you got 2 extra picks, or you get Caleb Downs and you got 2 extra picks, however that shakes out, then that's a dub. Or you get Sonny Styles and 2 extra picks. I think that's the way you got to look at it. Mixon going to be a Titan next year? I don't think so, because they still, even if they draft a running back and they cut Pollard, they still got Khalil Mullins and Tajay Spears on his last year. I don't see Joe Mixon being a Titan. I could see Joe Mixon going to like the Vikings or like a veteran team. Anthony Richardson will be a Viking. I thought that the Vikings should go after Kyler Murray, personally. I mean, that wouldn't be bad. I mean, it sounds bad, Devontae, but if you the Colts and you brought in Russell Wilson and let Anthony Richardson have his last year, and then in the back of your mind you want to keep your eye on Daniel Jones, like that's probably their best case scenario, because they still have to improve other positions. Dolphins should sign Malik. Dolphins ain't got no money though. Dolphins ain't got no money. They're having a mass exodus just to get under the cap. It's a few teams that's like that. That's got to cut players just so they can sign people. Dolphins really, if they do get rid of Tua, is really going to be stuck saying that Quinn Ewers has to step up. Y'all got to remember, some of these teams are in cap hell. The Dolphins been in cap hell for 2 years. Levis to the Jets. We need some more picks. I'm not one of them people that think we need a lot of picks. I mean, I'd leave Levis there unless they want to give us something good. I mean, Tennessee Titans are going to pick 4, 35, 66, and 101. That's without a trade back. And then they're going to have 4 extra picks on day 3. So, I mean, the Titans don't. Like, bro, you get 8, 9 swings in the draft, and 4 or 5 of them are top 100 picks, I don't necessarily think you just need a whole bunch of swings, because you're still going to get undrafted free agents. And the Titans got to get back to doing good with the undrafted free agents. Texans are shipping out all their starters on the O-line for David. Steelers need Malik. Are the Steelers going to spend the money, though? Dolphins are interested, cap here. Yeah, I mean, they got to go Ewers, because, I mean, think about Dolphins got rid of Javon Holland. They got rid of Jerome Baker, Raheem Mostert, Jonnu Smith, Christian Wilkins, Jalen Ramsey, Tariq Hill. Now they down to like Jalen Waddle. Like, I mean, they're really having a mass exodus of players. Only thing gonna be left on that team is Devin Achane and Ollie Gordon. That's it. In Washington, that's it. Bro, they literally had to get rid of everything just to be able to keep their head above water. Man, you only made it 3 times before you misspelled it. You gotta go again. I forgot you the troll that can't spell. If you're gonna be a troll, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. If you got Control V, that's how you don't misspell words. How you not smart enough to spell Trump right? Educated Southern Ponigo Pinkett, man. How was the tournament this weekend, man? Your boy was under the weather with migraines. Yeah, Jason was here for about 30 seconds. I always block him once he misspelled a word that he trolling with. He didn't make it 3 times before he misspelled it. He ain't smart enough to know how to do control V. He said but that's what some teams are in. But think about it. The Chargers got $80 million free. The Rams got 2 first-round draft picks and a lot of money free. Good teams got money free. They got the ability to go out and make some changes to their roster to try to pop out. Everything was good. Some no-shows is expected. Yeah, I think we usually say 10 to 15% no-shows is usually normal. But glad y'all had a good time Saturday. That some people still popping off on Madden. I took a few days off. I had some migraines, but we back. NFL Combine. Anybody else got any more surprises? Some people that jumped on y'all radar as players that you want your team to go after. For me, I've been pretty solid on the people that I like. If you go back and look at my the players that I've had on my mock drafts haven't changed. My sleepers haven't changed. But I do think the Tennessee Titans, the next moves that you see them make when it comes to Wan'Dale Robinson or Alec Pierce, or what they do at cornerback, and at center and right guard, I think it's gonna be very interesting. Tight end, because if they go running back in free agency, Love's probably off the board. They're probably going edge or wide receiver, and then if you see them trade back, I think that's a chance where you might see Sonny Styles or a wide receiver getting drafted for the Titans. So it's interesting. I think it's gonna be a lot of moves on draft day, like leading up to the draft, with so many teams having multiple first round picks, so many teams needing quarterbacks, so many teams that have new coaches, so many teams that are going to be on the hot seat next season that really has to make a push. But I love the position that the Titans are in, that, you know, some of the trades and moves they make already, especially the T'Vondre Sweat for Jermaine Johnson, just put them in a position where they don't have to just be forced to take edge at number 4, because I will go on record. I will go on record saying if Bain and Reese was off the board and David Bailey was there I would want them to go a different direction. I would not want to go David Bailey. But I think now that you got Jermaine Johnson and Femi coming in, if they go out and sign John Franklin Myers and another edge, I think it just alleviates the pressure. And then if they get Wan'Dale Robinson, it alleviates even more pressure. And then, you know, Cade Otton, some of the bigger tight ends. I've been hearing they want to bring back Chig Okonkwo if it's a team friendly deal. If it's not, I'd like to see another big body inline tight end. And then defensive back, what are the Titans going to do? Obviously still having Calvin Ridley and L'Jarius Sneed in Nashville, at least up until the summer, I think, before they even have to make any moves. They got a chance to really fill this roster out and have a lot of new young talent going into 2026-27. Titans get Johnson from Nebraska. Is that the running back? In Nebraska, the only play I really like is that running back y'all got. Who gonna be the team that moves up? It should be fun. I don't think the Rams. The Rams got a top 10 pick because they got the Falcons pick. I don't think they're gonna move. Cowboys are sitting there like 12, and then they got another one. Browns got 2, Jets got 2. So, it's a bunch of teams that don't have a first round pick. It's gonna be interesting to see how these teams make plays. Yeah, y'all got a good running back over there. Like, if we don't get Love, I don't think he's going to be a running back. We're going to go after Nebraska running back. I think if we don't go Love, I think we go like rounds 6 or 7 for a running back. I like Henry out of UTSA. I like the dude from Taylor from Virginia. It's some late round backs that I wouldn't mind. Maybe Nick Singleton from Penn State. Some late round guys. If we don't get Jeremiah Love, I'd be expecting them to go in free agency or take somebody late. So it's gonna be interesting, man. Like, I want to do some more mocks, but I'll wait because we might get the dun, 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 and Wan'Dale Robinson. Because I ain't gonna lie, Chimere DK, Alec Aomana, and Wan'Dale Robinson with Restrepo, and then drafting maybe like a Jeremy Bernard or Chris Bell or Jacoby Lane or somebody or Chris Brazel. Like, I would just do a backflip if we added a dunker to a group, because Wan'Dale Robinson will feel the need for the guy that's gonna go in motion, that's gonna catch the screens, that's gonna run the whip routes, the deep overs, and really free up Aomana and DK. We need a good twitchy guy, and if we don't get Wan'Dale Robinson, I'd be looking for Zachariah Branch or Deion Burks or somebody like that, a good tweener guy that can get in the slot and get in and out. Last year, like, the Bears picked up Luther Burden, and you see how explosive he is with the ball in his hand. Cam needs some people that can run after the catch. Last year, our tight end, Chig Okonkwo, led the team in run after catch. That's over tight ends, that's over running backs and wide receivers. And as many screen passes as the Titans ran last year. For a tight end to have the most run after catch, that just let you know we don't got anybody that can be explosive with the ball in their hand. They said Chubbs, Mixon, and Montgomery in Houston. They got Woody Marks. Woody Marks from USC was the guy in Houston last year. I think Mixon shot himself in the foot. So I think it'd be Woody Marks and David Montgomery would be a good 1-2 punch for CJ Stroud. How I feel about Mike Washington from Arkansas, man, dude ran a crazy 40 time. A lot of people had liked him coming in, but when it comes to the late round guys, that's just gonna come down to film and who they think's a good fit. But me personally, I think if it's not Jeremiah Love, then it's just a late round guy. And at that point, who knows who's gonna turn out to be that great late round Pacheco or Kyle Monunga or Krosky Merritt, like he was in Washington last year, or Woody Marks on the Texans was a good all-purpose back. So it's yet to see. I think Jeremiah Love at 4, I wouldn't be mad, but let's just keep our eye on free agency for the teams that have money and their teams are not in cap hell. We'll keep our eye. Does the Titans make a move for Wan'Dale or Alec Pierce? Do they make a move at one of the cornerbacks? Do they make another big time splash at edge? Who do they get to go at center, right guard? I expect Levin and Jackson Slater to be in that spot right now, and then for them to fill in later. They may bring Zietler back. Who knows? If they bring Zietler back, then it's just all about continuity. Because Zietler's getting old. I'm not all for signing old players. That's why I like when they made the trade for Jermaine Johnson. This is another young guy, a guy that's 24, 25 years old that can be there for the next 3 or 4 years. You want guys that's gonna be there until Cam Ward is gone, not guys that's gonna age themselves out of position and you still gotta. So these are the people to keep their eyes on before we get out of here. Wan'Dale Robinson, Alec Pierce. Do they go get John Franklin Myers? Do they bring Sebastian Joseph Day? Kevin Zietler, Chig Okonkwo. The other tight ends I got my eyes on. Cade Otton, Jamel Dean, Alontae Taylor, Tariq Woolen, Nashawn Wright. Do they bring the mayor, Kevin Byard, back at free safety and put Kevin Winston in the box? It's going to be interesting to see this free agent. Titans have so much money to spend, and that's not even with Calvin Ridley and L'Jarius Sneed. It's still a flat $100 million for them to make some moves. So everybody keep their eye out. I appreciate y'all tapping in for the daytime shop talk. If y'all got any more questions, make sure to throw them in the YouTube comments. That way I can go back and readdress them in later videos. Probably 5 o'clock today. This will be chopped and sent back up on YouTube. Do me a favor, like, comment, share, tap in. We're really close to being partnered on YouTube. And if I get a chance, I'll be back tonight. If I don't, y'all know I'm resting my eyes trying to get these migraines out of here. God first in the chat, and it's the commercial. And I'll catch y'all next time, man.
Subscribe, like, comment, share. Tap into the daily uploads at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you missed the live streams, you got picture in picture. And if I don't get to any questions during the live streams or the pods, drop them in the comments. I'll make it part of the weekly mailbag. If you're following on the blue, smash those reactions. I know you're OG. Hit that like, comment, share, tap into the daily content that is the shop. If you're new to the shop, you definitely should be tapped in on the green. No ads, up to 50 emotes free for just being a follower. You do not have to be a supporter to unlock picture in picture, late night streams. Follow us on Kick. We also live on Twitch. Look out for the drops, as well as if you have Amazon Prime, it's free $99 to sub to the channel once a month. Don't let Jeff Bezos stick that money back in his pocket. If you don't use it on the shop, use it on another content creator that you like. I still call it Twitter, but follow us on X. We tweet back. If you missed the daily shop talks, make sure you tap in for the late night cap on the purple and the green. The Discord is always open. Outside of subs, donos, and cash apps, is also another way to support the content. That's by grabbing a trucker hat, a bandana, hoodies, classic barbershop, Vibe Nation, right out of the official merch store on Tactic, formerly known as Geeks Unleashed. Code Buddha at checkout